12th and 13th of December 2012, the Institute for Emerging Market Studies hosted its first annual Emerging Markets Research Forum at the Moscow School of Management, Skolkovo. The purpose of the annual forum is to create a venue for sharing ideas among the leading thinkers on emerging markets. Over 60 renowned experts and scholars in the fields of management and economics met to discuss the current state of knowledge on emerging markets. During 2 days of meetings, the experts identified key issues and trends relevant for the Institute's research over the coming year.
As we try to understand emerging markets, there are a lot of challenges in expanding the knowledge base. The best way of working toward expanding the knowledge base for us and finding the right approaches to help the economy and companies in emerging markets is through this kind of dialogues, this kind of forum, rather than sitting in the office and digging through papers and so on. So by sharing ideas and different experiences from different backgrounds and people coming from different sides, presenting different perspectives. Out of this discussion, we're trying to identify the most critical issues we have to look into.
The biggest problem for business is the general uncertainty in the global economy, which stems from uncertainty in the financial markets, which in turn is caused by the euro crisis. So the biggest problem for business is judging which way the euro crisis will or will not go. Nobody really knows. So what business, in my opinion, needs to do is to hedge its bets. You don't go for one emerging markets or one product or one country. You invest in 2 or 3 directions so that you're not caught out.
There can be no doubt that emerging markets are the main contributors to economic growth in the global economy. And when we look at forecasts and predictions for the next 10 years, more than 70% of the addition to economic growth will come from emerging markets, especially from Asia. So obviously behind these there are structural changes, there are demographic changes.
Well, there are 2 key issues for organizations concerned about growing talent in emerging markets. One part of it is not having enough of the right skills in the right places, especially in those emerging markets. And the other piece of it is thinking about how do we get those great leaders who are able to live and work in the different markets and manage teams that are operating around the world. Probably one of the most important considerations for any organization operating globally, especially those who are trying to compete in those emerging markets, is to think about the pipeline of talent. Who are those individuals you're recruiting in? Where are you finding them? What are the skills and abilities they bring, that raw talent? And then how can you mold that talent to be effective for the way that you're going to compete in the future?
In the consumer product sector, emerging markets are the future growth. In fact, if you look at the top 30 global players in the consumer products, on average 40% plus of their turnover is in emerging markets, and they're investing significantly in those markets through acquisition or organic growth. However, what we're finding is that these businesses in emerging markets find it really challenging to capture the growth and the opportunity in those markets. And I would say one of the key challenges really to truly understand the consumer, to be able to offer the right products at the right price point. And that is, for most consumer product company, the essence of their growth.
It's been very interesting to cover the different topics and to see those areas which have greatest resonance, and particularly to explore how we can make the research more specific, more focused, and move away from macroeconomic generalities to deal with the different markets, the different emerging markets that are going to be so important in the future.
Skolkovo.